So yeah, changing scenes, you should see it there. And then also pause, but obviously this is not recording. I'm using a different instance to record. And turn on the light. So you can see this changing here. And then you can see it here as well. And then also to turn on and off the other lights as well. You can see it there. You won't really see it there because it's actually using this here, the remote, and I didn't really hook that up to any state. So kind of the only one is this. And then also this kind of bathtub one. So if I enable that, it actually goes into the timeout. So it will turn off after 3 minutes, but that's handled on the Python backend for this kind of thing. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. Now in this one I'm going to be showing you guys just something interesting that I've been working on. So if you're familiar with QMK, which is the firmware that I use on my keyboards, so QMK, they released an update which had this programmable button kind of thing. So what this is it's like outside of your normal kind of key code. So you know the way you have like the keys on your keyboard, like A to Z, and then the F keys and all that kind of stuff. Well, when you press that, the keyboard sends like a key code to the OS, and then the OS kind of, you know, translates that and outputs it to the application and whatnot. And so with this is using the telephony device page, which would be kind of like outside of the regular HID stuff. So you get 32 programmable buttons which don't interfere with anything, with any other application or anything like that. So the reason I found this really handy is because, well, mostly actually because for OBS. So for OBS, you know the way you can change scenes and stuff like that. Now you can do it with key bindings, but the problem with that is if I set, for example, scene 1 to be like control 1 or something like that. Well, say I'm working here or whatever, in another app maybe, and then I want to change to scene 1 and I press control 1. Well, in this case nothing happened, but in like another app or whatever, like control 2 or something, it might like interfere. Yeah, so this usually actually happens if I am like, you know, showing off some code or whatnot. And yeah, so it can get a bit annoying where you change scenes, but then in turn you trigger something, you know, within the app, and then you kind of get confused or whatnot. So yeah, this way, with using these programmable buttons, that won't happen at all, since OBS like won't detect those buttons. So, but in order to make those buttons kind of useful, you would need, you know, a special program that can detect those said buttons, which I wrote here in Rust. So yeah, at the moment the program supports kind of like all OBS features, because I'm using an OBS kind of client library. So I suppose I should get it started here. I'll just run a second version of OBS. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with anything. Alright, so here we have second version OBS. I'm just going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to run the program. So to get this started, what you want to do is you want to install Cargo and Rust C. So you can do that with this link here. This is just the official Rust guide. And then what you want to do is, after cloning the repo, just do a cargo build release. And there we go. Now, if this is your first time building it, there will be like a ton of output here, compiling all the stuff. And then after that, so if we take a look at the binary here, so target, release, and then QMK Programmable Button. I'll just make that bigger. You'll see that the binary is 2 megabytes, which is, you know, not good. Well, like, it can be better. By using this command here, you'll need to install UPX. It'll be available in, you know, all the repos. So now, if we look at the size, it's gone down to 676, which is, you know, still quite big, but it's better. So yeah, and then to run this, you just simply run the binary like this. Now you won't get anything at the moment. So to use this feature on your own keyboard, inside the rules MK, add this, and then inside your firmware, add these. So PB1 through 9. So here I have PB1 through 9, and then I have 20 here, 10 here, 11 here, just to kind of distinguish them. But it's basically, you know, kind of like a numpad, macropad kind of thing that I have going on here. So yeah, I think I actually have some photos of this thing. Yeah, so there it is. Yeah, that's how it looks like anyway. So it's just kind of simple numpad here. So I have those, you know, there. And so yeah, the main kind of functionality, if you want to change the default kind of stuff, is you go into source, programmable keys RS. So here you can see all the macros and their key codes laid out. And then this is just mapping the stuff. And then here's the OBS change scene function, OBS toggle recording, and then send post request. So this is because I'm also using this to like turn on and off the lights, which I'll show you in a second. And so yeah, macro 1 is just OBS change scene and all that kind of stuff. And then here I'm turning on the lights, pause, and then here turning on and off more lights, and then that's it. So the rest I don't really like use them at all, but I just set them all up so that you guys don't have to like struggle with it. So yeah, I'm just gonna go into here. So this is like a front end to the API that I used to control the lights and stuff like that. So when I'm pressing the macro keys, you should see like this change here and stuff like that. So anyway, if we take a look at the scenes here, so if I press the macro here to change to scene 3, so you can see it detected macro 3. So it detected this key code here, and this is using libinput here. So if we go into main, where is it? Yeah, so libinput. So yeah, it's just reading raw like HID data here. And then when it's processing the event, it's checking if it's a keyboard, and it's checking if the key is pressed, and it's getting the programmable key, so that's a huge enum. And then if it's, you know, a legit key, because there could be some other events here. If you plug in your like controller or something, some of those might trigger it, but it's looking for specific ones anyway. So it will add it to the queue. You'll add, like, you know, the key that you pressed to the queue. And then inside here we have a separate thread. So what this does is it basically gets a key from the queue, and then it passes it into the program or the process keys. So back here, it just calls this function here with the key, and then the OBS client as well, since I create that in the main function. So yeah, you can see it here. So yeah, changing scenes, you should see it there. And then also pause, but obviously this is not recording. I'm using a different instance to record. And turn on the light. So you can see this changing here. And then you can see it here as well. And then also to turn on and off the other lights as well. You can see it there. You won't really see it there because it's actually using this here, the remote, and I didn't really hook that up to any state. So kind of the only one is this. And then also this kind of bathtub one. So if I enable that, it actually goes into the timeout. So it will turn off after 3 minutes, but that's handled on the Python backend for this kind of thing. And yeah, so like, for example, if you go into the settings here, if I just get that out of the way. So for example, in the hotkeys, for example, if I want to, if I want to, like, I don't know, let's say mute, and I try to set a hotkey here, if I set it to, like, you know, one of the programmable keys, as you can see, OBS doesn't detect it, but you can see it here, for example. Here it's like, you know, still running. And so that's kind of the good thing is, so no program that you run will be able to detect these keys unless you run, you know, like a special program designed to detect them, like this, like the one that I came up with here. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so I suppose the kind of disadvantages, you need to run this program to be able to use these keys. But I think that's, like, you know, a decent trade-off, since this program doesn't really take up too many resources. So if I launch up htop here or something, let me make it a little bit bigger. And then if I F3 for programmable keys. So as you can see here, it's, where is it? There it is. Yeah, so it's kind of jumping around. But you can see here, it's not like using a lot of CPU, it's not using a lot of memory. So yeah, that's pretty nice. And so yeah, it's, you know, pretty good. So yeah, thanks for watching. Oh yeah, and also to actually enable this in OBS, I forgot to mention, you need to enable the WebSockets here, and you can have a password if you want. I don't, but you can see the connected WebSockets, so the program is, you know, nicely connected. If you want to change your password, or if you want to enable a password, inside here, inside source, inside main, what you want to do is you want to, where is it? Yeah, so here, you want to set your password here. So as you can see right now, it's empty. So just put in whatever you want here. I'll probably make like an env later on. So you'd have like a hidden env file, and then it'll just read it here. So that'll be kind of handy, I think. And to be able to use this, you will need to be on the latest OBS, so version 28. And then you should be solid to use it for this. And for like customizing your own commands or whatever, so all you need to do is just create a JSON kind of body or whatever, and a URL, and then that's all you need. So you can send JSON to whatever you want, since that'll probably be the best way to do it. Unless you have something set up that like triggers on GET requests or whatever, you can just, you know, instead of post, put in client.get, and you should be good to go. So yeah, thanks for watching, and bye bye.